because we just had a little like pre-chat before, that you were also an English National Opera Harvard artist.
I was a few years ago now.
Yes, of course, a few years ago, but I'm currently one, and I think I finish in July. Would be in my second year in July. And
are you sad to leave?
I am actually. I'm sad to leave in one respect because, it has been a family for me, like a really amazing family, And in the second chunk, I'm not sad because I know that they've given me a foundation that I can go and fly on like Superman or Superwoman.
That's a good feeling.
And we were just talking about our wonderful hidden gem of a coach, Jane Robinson.
Jane, yeah. Oh gosh, the things she said to me in the practice room made me go home crying. But man, she is honestly, I mean, in my opinion, maybe the best coach in the UK, and she's so wonderful because you don't hear necessarily so much about her because all she cares about is the work.
Yes, exactly.
What she does in the room with you to make you better. And then she goes home and thinks of other things,
Yes. And I think it's really great when you can get a coach that is that present. I mean, like you, I've been sent home crying with Jane because just so particular about what she wants. And I'm like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to make sure that I get it done. And then you go...
It's motivational. It's yes. She's not mean, but
no, she's never mean. Always loving. But she knows what you can do, and she wants you to get you to your full potential. And I love that about her. Anyway, it's 9:01. Oh my goodness, 9:00. So hi everybody. I'm Nadine Benjamin. I am a professional opera singer. I am a certified high performance coach, and I'm a certified NLP mind coach and a theta healer. And I'm on 12-week stay at home, can't leave my house. So I love connecting, championing and celebrating people. And so while I'm here, I thought I would share my coaching skills and my thoughts and all the other gems of the people that I know in my life. And today we're going to celebrate and be with Duncan Rock. So Duncan Rock, has had an international career in opera for the past 10 years. He has performed roles at the Metropolitan Opera in New York, the Royal Opera House, both of us, as we said, English National Opera, and Glyndebourne. Raised in Australia, Duncan studied law before turning to opera in his mid-20s. He has a lifelong relationship with fitness and health and runs a nutrition consultation business, while also completing a master's in nutritional science. And it is such a pleasure, Duncan, to have you here. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
And as I always say, neither of us are medical doctors or psychiatrists. So if you do need that help, please go and seek it. I fully encourage it. This is a place just to get some further personal development or tips or ideas and just support us while we're in this space at the moment. So, hey, morning, Susan. So, hey, Duncan, tell us about yourself. It's so lovely to have you.
Oh, thanks. Well, nice to be here. Although, we're neighbours, but obviously, we be on the opposite sides of the world.
Yes.
Neighbours in Hove.
Yes.
Well, I now live in Hove in the UK. I'm married. I have a dog as well, Terry. I'm expecting my first child in July, which is
wow! Congratulations!
Really a wonderful sort of shining light in what is obviously a difficult time.
Yes.
I grew up in Western Australia, in Perth. Where I did all my schooling. I wasn't born there. I was born in the UK, but my father's English. My mum is from Brazil.
Oh wow! I had no idea.
Yeah, that often shocks people, considering my, all this ginger business. Yeah, I actually get the ginger from my maternal grandmother, from my Brazilian side.
Wow.
Strange, but there we are. I grew up in Australia. We moved there when I was very young. I did all my schooling, did my first degree there in law. And just as I was finishing my law degree, I discovered this thing opera, this strange thing, which, as you'd expect in Perth, Western Australia, is not really that present. I when I was at law school, I was sort of stealing units from the music department. And, I'd go and have singing lessons and go and, concert practice and all this stuff. And the more I did law, the more I realized it probably wasn't for me. And the more I did music, the more I thought, oh my gosh, this thing it's just so incredible.
Yeah.
I got this gift of an opportunity. In 2006, I won a competition in Australia, the Australian Singing Competition Marty Award, which it's just extraordinarily generous prize, which changed my life. It gave me a full scholarship to come to the UK, study, all my apartments, flights. It was really a free ride.
Wow.
So generous, yeah. And arrived in London a little bit clueless, but very enthusiastic. And here we are, 13 years later. And I haven't looked back. It's been quite a wild ride, but I've enjoyed it.
You've had such a prominent career in your singing. I mean, what, in terms of, becoming a professional singer, what has been your greatest learnings?
I have to look back to both the E&O and Blindborn for just being beyond generous with me. Blindborn, maybe even Blindborn in particular, giving me roles like well beyond my station, sort of giving me a chance. Like, I sang Tarquinius in the Rape of Lucretia, surrounded by people that I really had no place to be singing around. But, it went really well. And I think I owe a lot to the trust of those two companies in particular.
Yeah, I really identify with you. I mean, for me, being a Harvard artist and doing English National Opera has, I didn't come through conservatoire. And so that's the first time I've been inside a structure that is like a family that has really heard me and has encouraged me to be the best singer, and not just the best singer, but the best artist and colleague I could possibly be as well. And
you give a better compliment to a program. I mean,
yeah, exactly. And and I have found, I don't know if Michelle Williams was there but she's been a great mentor to me, in terms of just getting me to think about where I want to be and how I want to go forward.
I was at Guildhall with Michelle.
Oh, was you? Oh my God, amazing.
She was this is absolutely a compliment. She was the head of the student union and organized like awesome parties and events and stuff. It's incredible to see what she's achieved,
Yeah, so her leadership skills were showing even from then. Yeah, so that's wonderful. And so you've had this wonderful singing career, and how did you get into nutrition? What made you feel that nutrition was important as well as your singing?
Well, I like you mentioned at the start, I have had a lifelong relationship with health and fitness, actually stemming, as is not uncommon, from having problems with my weight when I was a child. The age of sort of 7 to about 12, I struggled with my weight. A few things happened in life that, weren't great. And and when I was about 11 or 12, I remember very distinctly my mum taking me to see a nutritionist, a dietitian in a hospital. And they gave me advice, like, this is how, if you want to achieve this, this is what you can do. These are the things you can do to get there. I remember feeling very empowered by this advice. Things stopped being a guessing game, or I remember it sort of took away the sort of emotional response to how I was feeling. And I just thought, okay, I want to be here. Now I know the steps to get there. And it worked. And I've ever since been, quite fit and healthy. My first job while I was at law school, my first job was as a personal trainer. I got I used to run people around on Cottesloe Beach, which, if anyone wants to Google Cottesloe Beach, you can see why I was very happy working there. It's the most beautiful beach in the world, really.
Oh.
And then, of course, when I came to the UK, I did actually work while I was a student at Virgin Active for a short period of time.
Oh wow.
And for money based, as a part time.
Yeah.
But as soon as I started singing, I got luckily very busy very quickly, and obviously travel. So I switched things to more online and one-on-one sort of work, and here we are. And sorry to waffle on, but
No, you're not waffling on. It's great.
A couple of years ago, I started to really have what you could describe as an international career, like lots of travel, 6, 7, 8 months of the year. And as much as I love the work, and I love rehearsing, and I love performing, and I love the adventures, I realized that for my optimum happiness in my life, as a man who wanted then and now is starting a family, I needed to reduce the amount of travel I was doing.
Okay.
So I remember distinctly, I was in Brisbane in Australia, and just looking into things that I could do to allow that, because unfortunately in the UK, there's no options to have a fest contract or something like that.
No, yeah, unfortunately,
to be honest, that would be very appealing to me if that were an option.
Absolutely, yeah.
I mean, exactly. Because I've done 10 years of travel now, and as much as wonderful as it is, I sort of feel like I've had that adventure. And I was looking into things like physiotherapy, studying physiotherapy remotely, but of course a lot of them are impossible. If you need to work with cadavers and subjects, it's impossible to do. And I had an epiphany one day. I realized I was listening to my something like 10th or 11th podcast on nutritional science that week. I study this formally. I'm obviously obsessed with it.
Yeah.
And I looked into options, and I found this fantastic course at Deakin University in Melbourne.
Oh, wow.
Which allows me to study completely remotely, but the content is exactly the same as the on-campus students.
Yeah.
And so I've been doing that since 2018. I had to sit a couple of exams and, show that I could study and all that, and they accepted me. And so I've been doing it part-time while traveling, and I'm going to finish it, actually.
It's amazing, isn't it? I mean, because obviously I'm also a professional singer, and I sing internationally as well. But I've also got my coaching. There is a lot of singers that we do have these kind of portfolio careers, or we have passions that we feel that we have to have alongside our singing. I mean, for me, coaching saved my life. It was something that helped me to grow and helped me to change my thoughts and my mind. And I love working with the mind. You love working with the body, but I love working with the mind. So, what do you feel about, like singers having, portfolio careers and, where they're doing two different things?
I mean, I think no one should feel pressured to do or not do anything. I think, the concern was, and I remember I had one mentor at the Met who's been really, really kind to me over the years, offering me advice, who said, look, there may be a perception of you that you're stopping being a singer. Even doesn't matter how busy you are. If you're also doing something else, you might look like a part-time singer.
Yeah.
Which, if that is the perception, that's I can't really control that. I mean, my singing schedule, obviously, it's a little bit strange at the moment, but it certainly doesn't look like the schedule of a part-time singer.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's the thing, isn't it? That people can really get their wires crossed. I mean, in terms of when we're learning roles and really concentrating on having focused time with roles, sometimes it is always good to have something else to go to in order to let those things even come into the body and the system more in a more relaxed way. And I find that they inform what I do and how I sing. I mean, I don't know if you found the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, I certainly, I don't have a sort of energy level for the day. And if I do nutrition stuff, then I no longer have energy for singing. They're sort of, you have a different stomach for dessert.
Yes.
I have a different stomach for nutrition and for singing. I think almost to have a bit of a dichotomy, you can do something productive, but you're relaxing your singing muscles while, doing your other thing. But once again, I realize it's becoming a bit more common for people to do.
Absolutely.
I don't think any singer should feel pressured. If you don't want to do whatever, something on the side, have an interior design business on the side. That's okay. You know, it's perfectly fantastic and awesome to just be an opera singer.
Exactly.
That's wonderful. Yeah.
Exactly. So if you could, I just wanted to ask, you know, because we've been talking about singing and then we've been talking about nutrition, what do you think is the relationship between singing and nutrition?
Yeah, I mean, nutrition, I write a lot about nutrition. My website, I have a blog and a sort of nutritional advice section. And I wrote recently, you know, health is often considered to be like one element of life. Like my health is good, my job is going well, you know, and you know, my garden's looking fabulous. I don't look at it that way. I look at it as something that underpins everything. And you know, as we can see at the moment, when your health falls, you sort of lose everything in a way. And you know, singers have, you know, I mean, I think the answer of how nutrition and health affects singing is fairly self-explanatory. I mean, our body is our instrument, and you know, if you want it to function optimally, you should treat it as such. And opera singers, particularly traveling opera singers, I think we underestimate how stressful the job can be. You know, tons of travel, a very, very high pressure, high risk, and very low security job.
Yes.
Constantly, you know, thinking about the next thing. You know, we as opera singers, we're often living in very different, multiple time periods. We're thinking about, what am I doing right now? Do I have rehearsals? Do I have a performance? What's my next opera? Am I preparing for that? And then this ridiculous thing, if you're lucky enough to experience, what offers am I getting 3, 4, 5 years into the future? You know, I just got this offer to sing something I've never sung. Am I going to be able to sing it? Do I have time to look at it? You know, this all adds to stress on the body and on the mind.
Yes.
And what and when we eat affects everything in our health, and you know, how we sleep, our energy levels, specifically to singing, things like reflux, you know.
Yes, the common problem with singers, you know.
And yet, if you sort of ask, there doesn't seem to be a consensus, whereas there is information available in the scientific literature that could give us good answers about how to do it. I'm actually writing an article about reflux and singing at the moment, which I should.
Oh, brilliant!
Yeah, I'll let you know when I've.
Absolutely, I'll post it up. Absolutely, great.
But what happens in opera, I've noticed, and I don't know if you've noticed the same, is when as soon as we talk about health or nutrition or more specifically exercise, we tend to get really focused on this really narrow element of the external manifestation of that.
Exactly.
So the sopranos needing to be thin, or the baritone needing to be like,
incredible. I mean, in fairness, Duncan, on stage, I have seen you at the Royal Opera House in Billy Budd, and I've seen you and I saw you in Breaking the Waves, in Edinburgh, and I have to say that you do look like Incredible Hulk on stage. I'm sorry.
It's the nicest thing anyone has ever said to me. Thank you. Thank you. No, I mean, obviously, I love working out, and I've never hidden that, and I can't hide it. You know, it appears on my body, but I certainly don't advocate for getting hung up on that.
No, exactly.
And I certainly don't think everyone else needs to do what I do. Like, for me, it's like I think of my health mainly coming through nutrition and all the behaviors, you know, sleep, not drinking, not too much, you know, not smoking, is the sort of what I think we should all do.
Yes.
And the exercise, you know, I think everyone should exercise a bit, but no, I don't think everyone needs to do the sort of amount of exercise that I like to do, but that happens to be what works for me.
Yes.
My hobby, I've had it forever, and I wouldn't really know what to do if I didn't have that in my life.
But fitness in general is really important for a singer anyway, because I mean the operas are long.
Yeah, it's sort of like a marathon with you know, a few bouts of boxing in there, you know, because you know, it's a long duration thing, but then with also bursts of intensity. I recommend to singers that they engage in some sort of high intensity interval training.
Oh, wow. Okay.
What that does, it's where you have like short bursts of exercise, say sprint for 50 meters, and then rest for say a minute, and then do it again, maybe 10 times. It gets your body very adept at bringing your heart rate and your respiratory rate down quickly after some stress.
Oh, wow. That's a great tip.
Yeah. So, I mean, I find like particularly one role for me that I've sung a lot is Don Giovanni.
Yes, yeah.
And a perfect example is, you sing the trio with Leporello and Donna Anna, and then you fight the Commendatore.
Yeah.
It's often quite physical. I've done ones where I've, beaten his head in with a brick or, all that kind of running around. And then you have to sing this pianissimo, quiet, beautiful trio with the Commendatore and Leporello.
Yeah.
A couple of times, so close. And actually doing HIIT training really helped me to manage that, to bring my breathing right down, my heart rate right down. Yeah. So it definitely directly transfers.
Oh, thank you. That's wonderful. I think that's a great tip. I mean, in terms of like what you were talking about, the perception of what a singer should look like. I mean, how has that affected you? I mean, because you are, someone who looks really fit. Do you think that your roles are chosen because of how you look, as well as how you sing?
I'd certainly say if I had to pick a side, it's been more of a benefit. If we're talking just of the superficial external, not about fitness, just how you look, it has helped. I mean, a lot of the roles for a younger baritone, roles like Billy Budd, Don Giovanni, Tarquinius, it can help. It can help.
Yeah.
They're few and far between, actually. It's certainly not the bulk of the repertoire. And, you have to be able to sing.
Yes.
I received a bit of, early on before things really started to go well, and I got jobs at the Met and stuff. People do, people can get envious and will try to bring you down or put you down and try to belittle what you're trying to do. And I got, he's only getting roles because he takes his shirt off and, stuff like that. And I always say, do you think I go to an audition and like take my shirt off, do a bunch of push-ups, and they give you no? I go in just like you, sing my arias. That's the base, and then also it can help if you fulfill a director's vision of what a role should look like. Particularly baritones. I don't think people really do this, but you certainly shouldn't care more about your abs than your voice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Obviously, like I don't think people are doing that, but we're here to sing,
Yeah, but I love that what you were saying about the that nutrition is an inside job. It really is an inside job, and just like the mind and working on the mind is an inside job, creating our characters are inside jobs. Alongside your nutrition, do you do acts of mindfulness or anything like that?
I have had a lifelong, not lifelong, that's a lie, several years long up and down relationship with meditation. It's something I struggle with.
I'm so glad you're honest about that.
Yeah, I mean, I've tried all the apps, Sam Harris, Waking Up, and Calm, and 10% Happier, all of them, and I find myself, I get into a zone and I can do it every day, and then I get out of the practice, and there is definitely the biggest thing I noticed from doing it is I am someone who can get quite sort of embroiled or rolled up in a particular negative emotion, whether that be embarrassment or anger. And what it has and does allow me to do is sort of reduce the half-life of that emotion somewhat. So if someone cuts me off on the road, instead of thinking, I'm going to chase this guy and, mow him down, obviously I can do that, but I can just, you still feel the emotion, that ridiculous sort of swelling up of aggression. But then you're able to notice it and let it go. Which
that's brilliant. But that in itself, Duncan, is mindfulness. That self-awareness, that then turns into self-control is a wonderful thing.
Okay.
That in itself is what you're practicing. Because I was thinking, even when we go on, lots of people do walks and lots of people do runs as well. I sometimes feel that that's also a part of meditation, because you're so focused when you're doing it. Your mind is so, I don't know if that's the same experience for you.
Do you know what? People seem to be able to impart that benefit onto things like yoga or Pilates, but dismiss it as something like running or lifting weights. I think this is a mistake. I think any time spent focusing on the physical, being in the here and now, whether that's you're running and you're concentrating your breathing, or you're doing a downward dog and you're thinking about relaxing your hamstrings, or if you're doing a squat and you're focusing on, getting full range of motion, is time spent taken sort of out of your head and out of the million thoughts you can have. I always say to people, don't underestimate the non-physical benefits of exercise. They're proven, and I don't know anyone who actually does it who doesn't notice it.
Yeah, I call that thing, when you're talking about that thing of being in your mind, washing machine head.
That's what it feels like. Yeah.
So do you have any tips for us, in terms of kind of nutrition and singing? Do you have any tips that you'd like to share with everybody?
Yeah, I one of the reasons I'm doing a master's in nutritional science is because I believe in trying to go for the best distillation of the science. I have a little bit of an aversion to, top 10 best foods for weight loss and stuff like that. But I have a couple of principles that I recognize that I normally try to give clients that can really help. Because when I see someone, every piece of advice I give them is based on their unique physiology and goals. That's what I like about it, because we're all very different physiologically.
Yes, we're all unique.
Yeah. But one thing I always say, I've sort of alluded to it, is to always prioritize what I would describe as real health, true health coming from the inside, rather than external manifestations of that. So concentrate on eating more vegetables rather than seeing the scale drop.
Yes, wonderful. I love that.
And so one will flow from the other. And I always find people get better, healthier, long-term results if they focus on the former rather than on the latter.
Yeah.
The other thing I often say is, don't think about food as being good or bad. People often ask me something like, I wrote a blog post, is peanut butter healthy? Yeah. Well, it depends. I always say, don't think about this as being good. Think about, what's your goal? Is it going to get you there? Or is it going to take you in the other direction? Which, again, I find people get quite good results thinking of things that way. And the other really important thing is, don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good.
Oh, yes.
So if you had instead of having a wholemeal sandwich for breakfast, you had it with white bread, God forbid, don't then go, oh, well, I guess everything's ruined and I should, give up. And, small changes, consistent small changes are the way to make real progress. You don't have to switch from eating, junk food to drinking kale smoothies 4 times a day. It's just be a little bit better than you were last week. Do something a little bit better than you did last week. And that, those are sort of general principles that I tend to.
Yeah, that's brilliant. I love what you just spoke about there about consistency, because especially with the mind as well, where consistently, if we want to change our habits, and I suppose with the same with nutrition, if we want to change our habits, they have to be, as you've just said, small, consistent changes, because it's in the repetition and it's in the consistency that the actual changes occur. And I think some people can really forget that they think they have to give up, because it's not working after 3 days.
Yeah.
But, to have an actual change takes 21 days, and to have a full habitual change takes 90 days, as in you don't have to think about it anymore.
Huh.
Yeah.
It's, we were talking earlier about, are we singing at the moment?
Yes. Yeah.
And I said, I'm trying to do 10 minutes a day.
Yes.
But I think that's a good principle anyway. I mean, you can't not sing all week and then sing 4 hours on a Saturday and make progress. You're better off doing 20 minutes every day, every day.
Exactly.
Same with nutrition.
Yeah, and exactly what I'm doing. I'm singing 20 minutes a day. That's it for now until I find something. I am actually going to be working on an opera, but at the moment, because I've just gone back to singing, because I haven't really sung in a month, I was saying to you, and I was just like, actually, now I can start singing for 20 minutes a day. I'm going to start singing for 20 minutes a day, and let's see what happens, and it's that consistency that rebuilds the muscle. And that's all we want to do, is just keep rebuilding the muscles of courage muscles. Oh, it's been so lovely to speak to you, Duncan. I've just got some people here. Hey, Rebecca. Hey, Anthea. Hey, Susan. Anthea saying, yes, walking can be meditative, and so can gardening, and singing can be meditative as well. And Susan is saying also hobbies like sewing and crochet and knitting help her. So
that's cool. Yeah, good to hear.
We all have our own way of finding our mindfulness. We all have our own way of finding our nutrition. We all have our own way of finding our consistency. And Duncan, I just feel so happy and so warmed that you've spent this time with us this morning. I'm so in awe of your wonderful career, and I know that that's based on hard work and your absolute focus in what you do and your absolute dedication. When I see you on stage, I can see that you're absolutely there and you're alive, and and your voice is amazing as well. So you just seem to have that whole package. There's no doubt why you wouldn't be at the Met or somewhere, So I really, really wish you so much continued success. I really, really do. Thank you so much. Now, is there any lasting thought that you want to leave with us, or are we saying bye-bye?
I think we've sort of covered. I was just thinking, I hope we get to sing together one day, although I'm not sure I can sing your repertoire.
Well, we'll see. I mean, I think the universe has a funny way of putting people together that, if we're meant to sing together, we will sing together. I do believe in that. I really, really, really do believe in that. And Rebecca is saying, thank you so much, Duncan. And I have to say, everybody, that actually I didn't choose Duncan. 3 people came to me and sent me texts and emails saying, can you please interview Duncan Rock?
Oh, thank you for those people. Gosh,
so they are here. He's here because of them, and I'm so glad that I did know him and could put my texting buttons on and actually get in contact. And what I love about Duncan is he just immediately showed up and said, yes, of course I'm going to show up and I'm going to serve. And that's what we're doing here every day. We're just showing up and serving whoever it's meant to hit. That's who it's meant to connect with. We just want to connect, we want to champion, and we want to celebrate. Anyway, tomorrow I'm gonna not tomorrow. We'll have a nice weekend. Oh, and remember, over your weekend, please make sure that you schedule your time. Even if you're going to watch Netflix all weekend, please make sure you schedule your time. Make it a conscious decision that you are going to empower yourself to take time off, to rest, to play, to have fun. Or if you think that you've got some new idea that you want to work in, schedule that in, because that is your time. It belongs to you. On Monday, we will have another baritone. And we will have Peter Brathwaite on Monday, who's going to be talking to all of us about creativity. And Tuesday, we will have James Clutton from Opera Holland Park talking about their many ventures that are going on at the moment. So once again, Duncan, thank you so much for being here. I really, really appreciate you. I'm celebrating you. Bye, Lena. Bye, everybody. Thank you. Teresa, thank you. And take care, and God bless. Bye-bye.
Take care.